Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair, and we're out here solo tonight because my guy is getting the house ready. He's got a bunch of guests coming, so, he's got a shout out to JT. His daughter is getting ready to graduate. Super, super cool. She's got a big CNA test, so shout out to her and all the good things. Hey, so we are coming to you from St. Augustine. JT is in Jacksonville, Florida, but the WWE was in Nebraska. And Coach Rule was there. They had some of the Cornhuskers that were there. The crowd was really into it. And the thing that I like about WWE is that they start in the parking lot and they bring all the wrestlers, sports entertainers in. So we had some action in the parking lot, the video, the way they're bringing everybody in, and then we get a yeet off, and then Paul Heyman pulls his little voodoo that you do and gets Jey to commit to a match tonight on Raw, and then come to find out it was the first time in 7 months. So it was a good opening segment, a very, very long segment, because you got 4 renditions of Jey Uso yeeting, and I'm a yeeter, and I'm here for it. Fortunately, we'll get into what happens in the match, entrances and the like. So then we get back into the ring when we have a match with JD McDonough, who's back from that injury that I thought was his head snapping off his body, but he had a lung situation. So welcome back, JD, for the Judgment Day. And you had Finn out there, and you had JD in the ring, and there was plenty of distraction to go around. And then the odd thing happens. Out comes Chad Gable. I'm not sure, what the connection is and why. Was he out there helping Judgment Day, or is he just out there because he's after Penta? So that would be something that we're going to kind of, monitor, I guess, or keep an eye on. But interesting situation. So all in all, good match, and what you're going to get with Penta, the entrance, everything. He's got a new entrance song out too when he does his walk in the 3. I think that's super cool. And Penta gets the win. So with a Mexican destroyer is what they're calling it now. So, and JD McDonough, did everybody catch the moonsault that he hit? Because that was a strong moonsault, very smooth, and unfortunately he missed. And fortunate for Penta, he gets the win after the destroyer. So, there we go. We're moving and grooving. Things are happening on the show. We get a backstage piece with Adam Pearce, and he's talking with Grayson Waller. Well, up walks Austin Theory, and Waller trying to be a good guy, trying to give his guy Austin some shine, and he gets him put into a match against Sheamus. And all throughout the match, they're saying, why did he do this to him? That's not, that wasn't nice of you, but whatever. Sheamus expectedly returns back after being off for quite a while, so good to see him back. And with the Brogue Kick, he gets the win. And, pretty straightforward match. And he looked, when I say he, Austin looked really good, and he had a good showing, but when you're in there with almost a 2-time Grand Slam winner, you're gonna miss some stuff. So interesting development there. I think we're gonna see a breakup, and then those two will feud. So hey, now we'll back up for just a hot second. So now we have Seth freaking Rollins against Jey Uso. Instantly, what do you think is going to happen there's going to be someone that's going to run in. You've got the spearing machine and one of the fastest wrestlers in the WWE who's got his back, Braun Breaker, out there. So, hey, I think we're going to see some chicanery, if that's a thing, another backstage bit. You see New Day and Chad Gable, and they're going back and forth. And I think they're trying to avoid having to defend the titles against American Made. So they're telling Gable, you should go after that number one spot. And, that just buys them a little bit more time. And it's just a matter of time before American Made is your tag team champion. So, we're ready for it. And then out comes Becky Lynch, and she wants respect put on her name. And she's talking herself up. And Lyra comes out and does a pretty damn good job standing up for herself. And I really, really commend the mic work tonight. And when the boos and the hits on Becky, you didn't see that, that personal thin skin pop out. And then, she starts cracking on Lyra like what happened with Charlotte. So I thought, okay, this is going to be good. They get a little bit personal, so you still have a little bit of that personal touch. And I think it's going to make for a really good match. Will there be a will there be a title change? I think there will be, only because this is sort of the build. We got to start building toward Mania. We got to make the women's Intercontinental title mean something, and that's a really, really good way to make the title mean something, and that's put the title on the man. So I could see that very easily happening. So, hey, we get what we get, and we don't throw a fit. So, hey, looking forward to seeing what is going to happen there. Then we get Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. My goodness, what a good match. Really good back and forth. And, their move sets are really good. And, what do we get? We get a 15-time attempt of pins, and Io Sky comes out the victor. And, then I'm thinking, oh, wow, really good match. So Perez is kind of hanging out in the ring, and then she offers a handshake. Well, just like all baby faces, they take the handshake because, they want to be that team player. And then out comes Julia, and Rhea is in Australia doing a media piece. So no one's there to help out Io Sky because, she's not with Bailey and Damage Control. Damage Control, Dakota Kai was unfortunately released, and then Kairi Sane is recovering from an injury. So she was out there by herself. She got it pretty good, and we'll see what that turns into. Roxanne Perez, I got to tell you, she has been doing a really good job because she has been on both shows on Monday and on Tuesday. So she's really putting in that work, and it's just a matter of time before she's permanently on Raw. And probably draft time, maybe that becomes a permanent, she becomes a permanent fixture on Raw. So really, really good spot. Then we get reminded of some of the shows that are coming up. We've got Backlash this weekend, which I think is going to be a really good show. And, the main event, Randy Orton versus John Cena for the world title. It's in the RKO's hometown, but I just don't think it's time to take the title off of Cena. So he's still got a little bit of work to do. And the question now is, when are we going to see Cody Rhodes? And right now, I think we're looking at the middle of this month. So we probably won't see him this weekend. And then, probably the following the following weekend. So I'm pumped. I think it's going to be a fun title reign. You won't see the title defended a bunch, but then again, we haven't really seen it defended, an abundant amount of times. And, the champion, he's always on TV. Sometimes he's in tag matches. Sometimes he's, doing other stuff. So, not mad at it. We're getting there. So Tampa, they're also going to have a Saturday night main event. They're going to have a Sunday pay-per-view Battleground. You're going to have Monday Night Raw, and then you're going to have NXT in Tampa. So that'll be interesting to see the crowd from Saturday night's main event all the way through, because that's a lot of shows. That's a lot of people. And, I think Tampa can do it. So then we get a face-to-face after the match, which basically was a pretty quick squash match where we got to see the vicious side of Rusev, who said that he's just going to be doing some vigilante shit. So he put the work in on Otis. Otis tapped. That wasn't enough. And they, both of them, when I say they, Tozawa also got a little bit of a beat down. So, so far the crowd has been really good. The commercials, the workup, it's keeping me involved. I'm like, okay, the matches aren't, 5-star matches, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the show, but not tons of wrestling. There was a piece where AJ Styles went back and was talking with Judgment Day, and AJ mentioned R-Truth. So R-Truth, let him into the clubhouse, and AJ kind of messed up his lines a little bit, but he's AJ Styles, so he cleaned up his own mess. And now we're gonna have some kind of situation between AJ Styles and Finn. And AJ Styles and Finn, as many of us know, have history from New Japan, and they were too sweet for a long time. So again, we got Backlash this weekend. Super, super excited for that. Having some folks over. We're going to burn some meat, sip on some suds and some bourbon. So looking forward to little barbecue body slams and bourbon. So please drink responsibly and eat within moderation, whatever. So we got Backlash this weekend. The Cena versus Orton. That should be a pretty damn good match. And, will we see a funky ending? Will we see some cheating? Will there be blood? I don't think there'll be blood unless it's the hard way. We'll definitely have some kind of a wonky ending. And, that's just something that we kind of have grown to, expect. Now, is there going to be any involvement with Travis Scott coming out? And then are we going to see The Rock in any form or fashion? That's another one that we're going to, kind of float out there. And the pre-show for Backlash starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the main show starts at 7 Eastern Time. And I believe the opening match right now is going to be Penta for the Intercontinental title against Dirty Dom. And again, let's go. Anything with Penta in there. And then just this organic growth of Dominic and the fans. How weird was that when, they were sitting there screaming after he won the Intercontinental title? I was floored. I was honestly floored, but I'm here for it. And Dirty Dom is your Intercontinental champion right now. But will he leave St. Louis, your Intercontinental champion? Probably. I think he's got enough of a following. It's going to be a really good match. There's probably going to be something that will happen, and we'll see. We'll see what tomfoolery occurs. So now Jey Uso, he's come out, and Seth Rollins, they're in the ring. They're being announced. They're getting ready. And Jey Uso's out there with the world title, and he's got some blue side plates. And I like the blue side plates. I think it, stands out, and, They're not the original black and gold ones that he had, but the title looks pretty cool. I'm having one made. I've got a custom Uso Yeet plate a design that I came up with on my Intercontinental title. So hopefully I'm adding the world title with some Yeet plates after Backlash, and we'll continue on with this run. It's been going pretty good. Now, we talked about before at the start of the show when Paul Heyman cons Jey Uso into the match. So he gets what he wants, and the tables are set. It's Uso versus this massive faction of Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth freaking Rollins. Well, we're going through the match, and what happens? Folks get turned around and distracted. Some spears are handed out, and out comes Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, injured last week, he gets speared into Backlash, or actually he's probably not even available for Backlash, but he's going to have to go to a medical facility because if he didn't have broke ribs, he's got them now. That was Michael Cole's talk of the city. So we saw the return of the sleeper hold. Seth Rollins was in the sleeper hold, got out, and every move set they got, they hit. And Seth Rollins catching pedigree out of the spear again, he does it masterfully. And kudos to Jey Uso because he sold it just as well as Roman Reigns did. So pretty interesting. And if you listen to the things that Heyman said during the opening monologue, sort of peel some of that back, because he's talking about all the hard work that he did and all the this and the that he did. So I think eventually that's going to come back to bite him in the ass. And, everybody's going to get their day. And, during this match, I thought, no freaking way they're going to put the title this quick on Seth freaking Rollins. A couple of really, really good false finishes. One for Seth, and then the one for Jey where he hit his entire moveset and gets the super kick, gets the spear, hits the frog splash, and 1-2 ooh, we get a kick out. And how on earth did this happen? I don't know, but it did. And then we get the wrong righted. Is that the right way to put it? Everybody gets knocked off a kilter, and Jey Uso comes out the victor. 1, 2, 3 in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeet. So all in all, I thought it was a good show. I really enjoy the oosiness of Monday Night Raw. It's a very upbeat product. Pierce, had the show a little bit more organized than normal. And, Nick Aldis, Friday night is, it's ran much, much differently. So, I gave it 3 beards. I thought it was just above average show. Out of 5 beards, 2.5 beards would be an average show. I gave it 3 beards. Thanks to the city of Omaha for putting on for the WWE Superstars. I thought it was pretty good. Looking forward to tomorrow night NXT. Make sure you're checking it out on the CW. It is good watching. And then we're going to roll into AEW on Wednesday. You can catch Evolve and TNT on Thursday. Different platforms depending on how you watch whatever it is, if you're streaming or if you've got the Fight Ticket or TNA Plus. But I think it's going to be a good week of professional wrestling. Friday will be the go-home show for Friday Night SmackDown, and Backlash, we'll have that on Saturday. So can't wait to chat it up. We're going to have JT back in the house here soon. We have got some really cool interviews that we're working on this week. We're going to get one done this week, and then we're getting ready for River City WrestleCon. And again, hey, Nick, really appreciate it. It was great. It was great meeting you, and we'll be in touch, and we'll chat it up, see what the No Shave Man Cave can do behind the scenes. So on behalf of all of us here at the No Shave Man Cave, El Edidor and JT, thank you so much for the love and the follows. And, we just love doing this show and getting to talk about a little bit of wrestling together. So super pumped. To our brothers and sisters at arms, thank you so much for what you do for this great country. Hurry up, get your ass home. To our first responders, be safe, and thank you for what you do within our community so much. So on behalf of the team here at No Shave Man Cave, I'm Ellie Jair. Thanks for checking us out here like you do. Follow us on all our socials, noshavemancave.com for some gear, and No Shave Man Cave on X, the NSMC_podcast for some news and notes from the podcast. And then we've got Instagram and Threads. So come check us out, see what you think. And if you're interested in getting titles, we got you there too. So until next time, thanks for checking us out. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you on the floor.